Good morning, Giants. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. Have you ever wondered what it looks like to go bigger? Good morning, Giants. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. I'm Ryan Morris, and as always, I'm here with your host, Nicholas T. Smith, where this morning we're going bigger. And it's Tracksuit
bigger,
Thursday.
bigger exposure. It is Tracksuit Thursday.
Yeah, if you haven't followed us on YouTube, go do that because then you can know when we go live every single dang time. You hit the alert button. We're also on LinkedIn and Facebook, Wake Up with Giants TV, and a
And
Tribe of Giants,
and
and
Twitter
Twitter and
and
Twitch,
Twitch,
and
TikTok,
Farmers
and
Only.
and
No, not on Farmers Only.
farmers only. We might be. We might be.
Hey, and look at
Yeah.
this. This is for you, Jen. Look what I got. I got the beats. Yeah, and because it's also Mardi Gras time, so
Yeah. Townsend Wardlaw creating Tracksuit Thursday. It's a beautiful thing.
hello, Nikki.
So I had a conversation with Matt Smith out of the UK today. And this is the trigger for this conversation. So this is for you, Matt, and your daughter, so I'll tell you a little bit about this story. So Matt, his daughter, he's reading the book, The Giants and the Smalls, to his daughter. And she asked him if he would record it in for her so that she could listen to it at night. So before she goes to bed, she listens to The Giants and the Smalls before going to bed. Well, Matt posted on his wall today that he would do an intuitive reading for anybody that wanted it. And so I said yes. And he sent me a message and he said, Nick, you're playing small. You need to go bigger. I'm like, okay. So I messaged him back and I said, here's the beauty of the Giants journey is I will never be done growing. I will never be out of this journey. I will never arrive when it comes to the Giants journey. A lot of people think that, if I can hit this summit, then I'm done. If I can hit just this one peak, then I'm done. I'm looking for all the mountaintops that I can climb in my life. So all the areas, Townsend Wardlaw taught a concept, and he said, look for the weeds in your life. Look at the areas where you're playing small. Find them. Make it a game to find all the areas where you can grow and go bigger. And so, yeah, Matt, I do need to go bigger in a lot of ways, and each of you that are watching this video, where are you playing small still? Even though you've been giant in one area, where are you not? That's your greatest opportunity. So if you can play with that and go bigger, you can create big miracles in your life. I think we get so hung up on the measurement, right? If I could do this, then I'm something. I had a conversation yesterday with a powerful woman who sold 1 million copies of her book. We coached. I got to sit with her in conversation. And there's this idea that it's not enough. And how can that not be, right? We look at ourselves and we say, I made it or I'm not enough. I'll never measure up in some form. But the truth is that you can always go bigger. That's true. You are already enough. That's also true. But what else can you play with? Where else can you go and grow that maybe you're not doing right now? Ryan, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm with Jen. You go giantastic.
You go giantastic.
So like we also we had a great day yesterday. We talked to Steve Hardison, we talked to Joe Perrone, we talked to Grant Watty, we talked to Haisam, we talked to Nicole Castillo. Who else did we talk to yesterday?
Man,
Dorothy
I had so many conversations. I had
Yal,
coaching
it was
calls.
awesome.
Yep.
Yally. And in that we in our call with Joe and Grant, I learned a little bit more about action and how amazing action is, and at any point in time, that's the coolest thing is we have the ability to step into that. We just can start moving. If we fall, if we slip, if we stumble, well, then there's a choice. Then we can decide and say, do I stay where I'm at? Do I go smaller? Do I shrink? Do I hide? Or pull a Laban and get a little bit of courage,
Yeah.
and then the lighting goes dim because
It's like, I don't
it
want to see
glows
that.
off my chest.
It's like, no, dude, it's blinding me.
Yeah, I'll zip it back up, okay?
You know, one thing that Joe and Grant created with us yesterday in that conversation, this is beautiful, is the idea around activity being the payment. You know, we set ourselves these limitations based on what we know. Money's a big thing for a lot of people. Money is a limitation, right? And what's interesting about that is it's a single possibility of all the ways that we could create value in this world, right? We used to measure money by sticks, by clams, by rice, by chocolate, by all
Does
these
anybody
different
else out
things,
there
by
measure it
chickens,
by
by
chocolate
goats, right? By cows.
and
So like
clams?
it's a concept, it's a construct that we have of something of value, yet we land as though that's our measurement stick. Like if I can hit that, then I'm doing something of value. If I make this much money. But let's talk about impact. How much impact are you making in the world? And you could always go bigger. Because if you're limiting yourself to where I'll do it when I get more money, I'll do it when I get more clams, right? then I'll do it. But the truth is that your activity is the payment. When you're out there creating miracles for others in their life and you're being a giant, you're expressing that in your world, people see it. You don't have to say anything, because when you look up in the sky and you see that giant being a giant, they don't say anything. They're just doing what they do. Go bigger around that. What is an impact that you can have in the world that you can put activity into that would have you go bigger than you've ever gone in your life? Maybe show up in a way you've never shown up before. Start stretching yourself beyond what you've ever stretched for. We have a program called Stretch Revolution that we email out every day, just something to get you to stretch out of your comfort zone. You know, that's the idea, is if you're not stretching, you're not playing the Giants game. What I would challenge you to do is look at areas of your life, whether it's money or activity or creating miracles for others or giving some kind of value in the world. Where can you go bigger? Where are you playing small still? Like stretch it, like really, really go for it. Matt, this goes back to you. Is if you're listening to this, which I know you will, the intuition that you got for me is a reflection of what you need to hear for you too. Whenever I share things with others, it gets bounced back and I'm like, oh, damn, I need to do that.
Rubber and glue, Jen.
Rubber and glue. But the beauty of it is it does apply to me. Like I can go bigger in my life. I can do more things. I can stretch a little further today.
Mm-hmm.
And not just stretch a little further. It's not like I grew a centimeter today. It's I want to go for 2-3 feet, man. Let's really go for it. What's
I'll
something
cheer
that you
you
can
on
do?
though if you grow a
Yeah.
centimeter.
I just think, you know, there's so many areas where we could stretch beyond what we currently are. I look at the books. What could I be doing? You know, the idea of could I go and start taking cases of books to bookstores and see if they would want to wholesale those or do something with them to get more volume out there. How could I reach more people? What are things that I could do to be bigger in that area to really go for it and reach more people in the world? How can I serve in a way that's never been done? A sequel, that's a possibility. It's not yet, but it's on the vision. But really be with this question is where in your life can you go bigger? I love it, Matt. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
I just, I think it's pretty dang awesome just to, if you start getting into action to see what you can make a game out of it. It's like a gamify, a game of work. Maybe some of you read that book, but if you can just gamify the awesomeness of it all. Yesterday, by the end of the day, we were kind of wiped out. Like it was tiring, but
yeah,
we were like, what's going to happen next? Because it just kept going and going as we went into action, went from call to call to call. The coolest things then happened. In fact, as we were stepping into the action and going bigger and creating and talking, new creations were coming about. And as we were talking about those creations, someone would call. Like we were right in the middle, or somebody would text message, or something would happen. And I don't think that's an accident. I don't believe in accidents. I think that as you create that those ripple effects go back out. Other people think about you, and stuff turns back. Rubber.
Yeah.
I want to rhyme now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, get fun tired. Like go big. You don't have to go home. Just stay out there and keep going bigger, right?
Go home.
Don't go home. No, that's where all the normal is. Like go stretch, get out of your comfort zone. Like the thing is everything that you have right now is because of the behaviors that you've had in the past. Like everything is a creation from who you've created yourself to be. So if you're struggling with how am I going to do something bigger, create yourself as the type of person that can do something bigger. Like create yourself first and then let that carry you out into the world.
You
You
can
can
go
do a
home
lot
at some
more.
point.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
go home at some point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go big and then go home at some point.
The bars do close down. The dance clubs do close down. No, just yeah, actually, it's interesting because you can get inspiration everywhere. Go bigger means you're looking for it. Go bigger means you're stretching toward it. Go bigger means that you're never done growing. Go bigger means that you are always on the giant's journey for your entire life. Go bigger is that there's always something that you can do that's more than what you're currently doing. Now, this isn't a pressure or a have to. Don't ever make it into that, because if it becomes a to-do list for you, then you're doing it wrong. If there is right and wrong, you're doing it in an unuseful way. How about that? So really go for it. Look at it. Where can you take action? The action is the payment. And when you do that, the serendipity rolls in, the magic, the miracles. It's in the activity that those things start to show up in your life. That's why calls come in. Can't explain how the universe works. It just comes in. You start making calls. You start taking action. You start doing bigger things, and things come in and support you. You remember when I created going to that event, Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
If we take a minute, will you share your experience of that? When I came up with $10,000, do you remember that?
So yeah, and so like this is actually right when I had met Nick. It was like just as we were starting to become friends. And he was talking to me about coaching and what he had committed to do, and he to go to this event, he had to come up with 10 grand. Didn't have the money.
It was a 3-day deal. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like this is a big thing. And he didn't have money. They just spent money on vacations and other things like that. And so he just decided to get committed. And he said, okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And so he started to explore all types of coaching contracts and talking to any coach he could. He put his motorcycle up for sale. And he just before the event, Nick had the opportunity to get a coaching client, created a year-long coaching contract with this client, and it was for $10,000. Now he had made a commitment at that point. He said, "I'll do whatever it takes," and that means selling my motorcycle. So he still sold his motorcycle. But he created that money that he needed for that event by stepping into action. And we could tell you story after story after story that's just like that. Fiona Ross just put one. If you go find Fiona Ross,
that's
and
the check right there that I paid with.
is that the check for the? Oh, you've got it.
That's the check. And then I have the check that I received, a copy of that in that creation. It was an impossibility. It was an impossibility in my world, the way it was. I had no idea. I remember coming in and showing you the check, and you're like, holy shit.
I didn't know you kept it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I keep that stuff. It matters. I love the evidence of it. You know, it's like, keep going. I interrupted your thought there, but
no, I just we could tell you story after story after story about just that. Yeah, the manifestation. It's an interesting thing, and as you get going and get into action and get committed, you'll find that those things will start coming into your life in the way that you need it to come through. And we didn't know the how to of a lot of things that we were doing. We didn't know how our call was going to go with Joe and Grant. Those two guys, they're going to watch this because I'm going to tag them in it. Those two dudes, you want to talk a league of extraordinary gentlemen?
Yeah.
Um, they're pretty powerful dudes. I even feel weird calling them dudes, but
Yeah.
we have that kind of relationship now, I think. I
They're
don't know.
they're brothers, man.
But
Kia
as
kaha,
yeah,
kia kaha, it means stay strong in New Zealand, and that's for Grant, who's in New Zealand. Man,
yeah,
keep going. Like, finish out your thought, and then I'll
spending
share.
time with those guys and not knowing how that call was, and just trusting that there's something there. We didn't know how it was going to come about. We had an idea and a thought. We it's funny because when we had that idea and thought, I mean, it came in. It just came flooding in, the ideas and possibilities. Nick and I could have very easily said that's too big, because
Mm.
it's pretty big. Nobody's doing what that we know of, that we've seen, is going to do what we created. And so we sat there and went, but we've been through this before, so we know what to do. And so we got into action, and right there on the spot, Nick's like, "Oh, you created a group for us." And, "Oh, there's the invites." Oh, and all of a sudden flooding in. And it was the weirdest thing, because we're on, I mean, it was late at night here in Utah, Mountain Standard Time, right? Mountain, I don't know what our time
Mountain
zone is.
with a
Mountain.
MOUN apostrophe N.
Yeah, we're in Mountain.
Mountain.
And
That's how we say it.
and those guys, Joe's on the East Coast, and then Grant is in New Zealand. And both of them started messaging instantly about the possibilities and the ideas. And we had the call, and it went a little different than what we thought it was going to go, but it went exactly how it needed to go. And paradigms were shifted for me and Nick, maybe for Joe and Grant. I don't know. Those guys are, like I said, there's some amazing guys, so
I think
they
they
gave us
live
the insight.
they live in the paradigm. So there's no shift for them.
They are the paradigm.
They are the paradigm. You know,
I would
here's
look at them now too, if I
looking at
could.
this,
They're
like,
amazing.
this was one possibility to creating yeah, I'll stumble here. Creating that program, being there, is one possibility. What about a relationship? What about friendships? What about creating something that you desire in your life that's bigger than what it currently is? A new home, you know, a new place to be, moving to another city, reaching out to people that you haven't reached out to before, forgiving people
Maybe
for
that's
things,
yourself too.
right? Maybe even yourself, like doing something that you haven't done that's bigger than you.
Nikki here, she put that mental blocks are deep rooted, and I've been there. I get
Mm,
it. Sometimes they still hit me. Yesterday, there was one that my thinking was just a click or two off. My heart was in the right space, but my thoughts were a click or two off from where my heart should be. It wasn't bad or evil or wrong. It just, like, I just needed a little bit of a shift. I think that, as you, like Nikki, you could do some like small steps compounded over time, create giant results.
I like that. We
So
should use that.
yeah, geez,
Yeah.
it's weird. We talk about like giant steps being small steps for giants.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
So
They're just
maybe,
bigger in capacity. That's all.
just as a possibility, Nikki, you could do an extra thing. Just
Mm,
do something, and that is courage.
yeah.
And I'm proud of you for even just acknowledging that, because that's awareness, that's consciousness. Now step into it. If you need help with that, let us know. We'll help you. We have no
The-
problem helping you. If we can help you with those mental blocks, and help you maybe create an action plan, we'd love to help whoever needs the help. So
I
you can
like
reach
that.
out.
That collaboration,
Hmm.
if you think you have to do it alone, is limiting you. If you think ever that we created this group out of us just being us and us doing it all, you're off. This was a collaboration of a lot of people over time,
Of
expanding out
all of
constantly.
you that are here, for
Yeah.
sure.
So think about that. Who else could help you reach your vision and your dream and your goal, that
Hmm.
you could go bigger with somebody else? They're not required to take you there, but what they do is they help you expand out. They collaborate with you. They hold you accountable. You hold yourself accountable. They just hold space for you to do that. But where can you go bigger? The idea is expansion, not stagnation. We're not meant to grow and then stop. It's not like the giant's journey is a one-time deal and you're done. It's like, if you think that's the way it is, we're off here. I'm doing something wrong in my messaging, because the idea is that you'll never be done growing. There's always opportunity to go bigger in some area of your life. Look for the weeds, look for the parts where you're feeling small, look for the places where you're playing smaller than you should, and really dive into it. Just go for it. You know, I have to realign. Sometimes I get so in my ego that my ego is out here ahead of my spirit, leaving it behind. And I got to bring the two back together so that I can go forward. Sometimes you got to slow down a little bit and realign with your spirit and your soul and your heart, because that's where the ethereal is. You're bringing this stuff out here and pulling it into the present with your body. So learning to work together with the two, and this is me going on a rant here a little bit, is the goal. Like, slow down to go bigger. Really be present with what you're creating and bringing into the world. You're not alone. You're not alone. And we have a tribe of giants, 4,200 members. We have a goal of 20,000 by the end of the year. I just made that goal, Ryan, just so you know.
Oh,
yeah.
I've always loved the number 20,000.
I like that number. But we're not going to do that alone. We're not going to do that alone. That's going bigger. We need your collaboration too. What do you think we could do?
I do, Amanda. I changed jobs.
It's like the old 90s rappers, dude, the big old clock. And
yeah, I would be the
I'll
worst
do the Humpty
rapper.
Hump.
I'd be the worst rapper ever. I like this number better, Nick.
22K by 20. I like it. That's bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
So
other
who do we have
thoughts?
to be, Nick? I don't know. So we'll think about that.
We'll
Bigger
play.
than we are.
Yeah. Create ourselves as the people that can do that.
More
Guys,
giantastic.
let us support you. Keep commenting. Tell us your big visions. How are you stretching? Where are you going bigger in your life?
Or even your centimeter ones too. We'll take those.
We'll take those too. Yeah. You guys make it a giant day. Any other thoughts before we wrap up here?
No, it's Tracksuit Thursday.
Remember that. Go get your tracksuit.
Love you too, Townsend.
Love you guys. Take care.